Hi guys, and welcome to All About the Philippines. Now, today's video is your guide to keeping you safe in the Philippines. So if you're new to going to the Philippines or it's your first time going to the Philippines, then this video is going to be important for you to sit back and watch. No doubt the Philippines is a fantastic place to visit. The people are very friendly. There is so much to see and do in the Philippines. But in any country where people are finding it hard to put food on the table, they need to find ways to survive. So they will be looking for people to make money off or steal from, and you as a Westerner could become a target, especially if you're not laying low in that country and you're putting yourself out there and drawing attention to yourself. So in this video I'm going to go through many ways that you as a first-time traveler or a new traveler to the Philippines can protect yourself so you have a great time when traveling around the Philippines. Now I want to preempt the video by saying that my experiences in the Philippines has been very good. It is a safe country, but you've got to use your common sense and be careful where you do go and how you act in the Philippines. So that's the idea of this video, is not to make you scared of going to the Philippines, because as I say, most of the Philippines is very safe and the people are very friendly, and it's just an amazing country to visit, and you'll come away having an awesome time and a great experience. This is just to get your awareness of what the things you need to do to avoid some potential problems that can arise in the Philippines. So if you're a new or first-time traveler to the Philippines, you're not going to want to miss this video. So stay tuned. So when you go to the Philippines, you don't want to be taking your wallet. And you certainly don't want to be putting a wallet in your back pocket in the Philippines, where it's very easy to see where you keep your money and become a target for people who might want to relieve you of your money. So as you can see here in this picture, we use a money belt. Well, that's what I use anyway, this type of money belt. There's different types you can use. There are some that are just like a normal belt that you can slip your money inside. But this is the type I use. I find that it's quite good. You wrap it around your waist. It goes underneath your clothes, and it's very hard to detect that it's even there. You can't even notice it. So you unzip that part there and you put your money inside. Now I always recommend that you don't carry a lot of money in there, and you always keep maybe a couple of thousand pesos also in your pocket, just in a pocket, so if you need to get anything you can just get it out of your pocket and you don't have to be finding a place in private in order to open up this pouch. Some people will just forget about this money belt, and they will just keep a couple of thousand pesos in their pocket at any one time. That's also another option. But if you think you might be needing a bit more money for the day, you might be going out places, traveling around a bit, then a money belt certainly comes in handy. Now the first time when you get to the airport, when you land in Manila or Cebu, wherever it is you're landing, you might want to go and put the money belt on before you go outside. So you might need to go into a toilet or a private area where you can do that. And the same whenever you want to get money out of the money belt. Don't do it in public where everyone can see you, because then they know you've got money in there, and if they think you're hiding it away, they think there's something valuable to get. So always get your money out in private. But as I say, leave a couple of thousand pesos also in change and smaller notes in your pocket, so you can just get out money out of your pocket as you need it. Now the next thing is, you don't want to be drawn into any areas that are deserted or very few people around. Areas such as this are okay to go through if you're with somebody that knows the area, but when you're on your own, you would want to avoid areas where you can be vulnerable to any locals that might be trying to take advantage of you. Now, if you do want to go into areas such as this to, get a real feel for some of the Philippines areas, then I always suggest that you maybe try and get a guide or some local person that can take you and show you around, where they will know how to keep you safe and where to go to give you a good experience of the Philippines. Now remember, most of these areas are fairly safe, but we're talking about the first time traveller to the Philippines, or if you're new to the Philippines, you've got to take those extra precautions until you get used to being in the Philippines and knowing your surroundings. So after a period of time that you've spent in the Philippines, maybe you've gone back a few times, then areas like this, you probably can go into a lot of these areas, but always use your gut feeling and always be aware of your surroundings at all times. Now, when you go to the Philippines, of course, you want to have a good time. You might want to go to the club or bars, have a few drinks. But what you want to do is be very careful that you don't drink too much. Know your limits, and don't be that person who becomes very loud and obnoxious. In a place such as this, you'll be caught out very easy when you're loud and obnoxious, and being quite heavily intoxicated could make you an easy target. Sometimes people looking to relieve you of your money might hang around these areas looking for the drunk foreigner, and as soon as you step outside, there might be 3 or 4 big blokes there ready to give you a bit of a hiding and take your money. So don't draw attention to yourself. Have a great time by all means, but know your limits on your alcohol, and always remain respectful to everybody in the Philippines. Now, what I'd recommend when you're new to the Philippines and you don't really know your way around that well is to try and grab yourself a tour guide to take you and show you around. Now, there's 2 types of tour guides you can get. You get one like here in the picture we've got there, when basically you go to a tourist spot, you'll be able to hire professional tour guides to show you that particular area. And they're fantastic because they've got a lot of knowledge about the particular tourist area you're looking at, and they can give you a lot of facts and information about that particular area. But if you're just wanting to go off for a day and explore whatever comes along, then the best way is to try and find somebody who can go with you and show you, a local person that knows a lot of the area and will know where it's safe to go and not to go. Now, finding that particular person is really just asking around. Ask around wherever you go, but you've got to be careful that it's not a scam, it's not a setup. But generally speaking, if you get to know somebody there, take your time to have a chat with somebody and you'll get a good feeling in your gut whether or not this person is trustworthy and genuine. For a couple of thousand pesos for the day, you might get yourself a local person who can take you around and show you around, and you could have a very, very good time. Now, it's always safer also to go in 2s or 3s. So if you find someone there that maybe you're a backpacker, for example, and you're looking to go traveling around a little bit and looking around, you might have that person go with you as well. So you might team up, so to speak, because there's always safety in numbers, especially when you're first in the Philippines and you're not sure of where you're going or where to go and how to be safe there. Travel in numbers is always a great way in the early days of exploring the Philippines. So before you go to the Philippines and while you're in the Philippines, always do regular checks on the travel warnings. It will give you an idea of where you can go and where you can't go. Now, in the Philippines, they always say exercise a high degree of caution wherever you go, but that's the same as you should do anywhere in the world. Now, there are obviously some danger areas in the Philippines where there are some terrorist activities going on. So you really need to familiarize yourself with those areas so you don't end up going into those areas. So places like the southern tip of Mindanao, they will recommend that if you do have to go there, you take security with you. Apparently there is quite a bit of terrorist activity there and up in some of the mountains there. Now, I'm not familiar with that area. I've never been down there and I probably will never go into those areas. But you need to know where they are, and if you intend on going there, you need to take extreme precautions. So check with your government's travel warnings before you go, and as I say, while you're in the Philippines, just to keep updated so you can keep yourself safe at all times. Now, another important thing that we learned on our last trip to the Philippines was about security of your hotel room. So when you get there, always check that the room that you're staying in, that the doors have very good locks, as do the windows. Because if you don't, you could end up being robbed like we were on our last trip, where we lost some money and some valuables, including a phone and jewellery. So always check out your room when you first get there, and if it's not up to scratch and you think the lock is not good, especially on the doors, then ask for another room. And if they don't actually have anything that's any better than that with the security on the doors, then perhaps consider changing your booking and telling them that this is not suitable, you won't feel safe there, and you will look for another hotel. Peace of mind is extremely important when you're in the Philippines, so having a safe and secure room is one of my biggest and best tips I can give you. Now, you're not Mr. T, so you won't be needing your jewellery in the Philippines. Now, wearing lots of bling, chains and watches and rings and all that sort of stuff is only going to draw attention to you and reinforce the fact to some Filipinos that you're the rich foreigner. And they see that and they might take an interest to you to try and see what they can get from you. So leave the jewellery behind, the watches and all that sort of thing. Yeah, in the Philippines, you don't necessarily need a watch. They go on Filipino time. So you probably have a form of a mobile phone there, which will have your time on it anyway. So don't make it obvious. Stay as low key as possible when in the Philippines. So leave all that jewellery and bling behind. Now, I recommend, where possible, grab yourself a grab taxi. So instead of using the local taxis where possible, the grabs are a better option. Not only are they usually probably a little bit cheaper than a normal taxi, you don't generally have the scams going on that you can have with taxi drivers. Now, I know many of the taxi drivers in the Philippines are very good, honest people, but you've only got to look through YouTube and you'll see many, many stories about people being ripped off, whether they haven't put the meter on, or they're charging too much, or the meter's been rigged to actually tick over quicker than what it should. There are many problems around the normal taxis in the Philippines. The government is trying to crack down on it, but still the problem does remain. So for me, at least, the grab taxi is a better option where you can use it. Definitely grab yourself a grab taxi. All you've got to do is get on your phone the app and then you're right to go. And just a couple of common sense things really to finish off today. Never leave any items unattended. Obviously, wherever you go in the world, you don't want to leave your items unattended or unsecured, because someone will always be looking to take advantage of that. So when you're overseas in the Philippines, always keep an eye on your belongings and valuables. And also, as we touched on a bit earlier, always be aware of your surroundings. When you're in the Philippines, everything is going to be foreign to you. You've never been there before, or you haven't been there very often before. So you can actually feel a little bit disorientated when you're there. So just be aware of that and take your time to get to familiarize yourself with everything, and always be aware of who's around you and what's around you at all times, and you're bound to have a great time. And one final thought, leave your expensive mobile phone at home. Don't be like us on our last trip and we had it stolen. So you can get inexpensive mobile phones there, maybe for about $20 or $30, and you can use that for your stay in the Philippines, and then you can discard it or give it away if you like when you finish your trip, or you can keep it until you go back next time. So guys, that's your guide to keeping you safe in the Philippines, especially for first-time travellers or new travellers to the Philippines. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it. If you have, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share the video with anyone who may be going to the Philippines and all your networks. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and turn on the notification bell to get more videos. If you've got any other ideas about safety in the Philippines and keeping yourself safe, especially for new travelers, then I'd like to hear those comments below. So whack them in. Remain respectful, of course, as always. And thanks very much, guys, for watching the video. I appreciate all your support. Take care and bye for now.